This may not be the funniest story, but life sometimes presents us with challenges. There was a small explosion in the experimental workshop, causing me temporary hearing loss and poor vision due to the bandage wrapped around my head. Fortunately, my injuries were not serious, being limited to minor bruises and burns. After 2 weeks in the hospital, I was discharged and a medical officer visited me every 2 days to change the bandage. All this time, my wife was silent. Communication was difficult because of my poor hearing, and it was not easy to speak. Gradually, the pain subsided, and my mental clarity improved. I adapted to moving around the house on my own and was able to do all the household chores without help. In today's world, it is hard to understand how difficult it is to be cut off from information. I could neither see nor hear, relying only on my thoughts, which were my companions for long days. As time went on, the frequency of dressing changes decreased, and a medical professional began to visit us once a week. The rest of the time, my wife took care of my basic needs, feeding me and making my bed. The rest of the situation around me did not bother me in the least. Whether it was scary or unpleasant, I can't say for sure. I didn't know how long it was before I realized that my body needed more than just food and water. I woke up early that morning, and despite trying to distract myself, I couldn't ignore the gusts of desire and thoughts bubbling up inside me. As a result, I felt utterly confused. Not knowing when the bandage would be changed, I was dumbfounded by the shame that awaited me. I barely noticed my wife bringing breakfast, only sensing her presence when she sat next to me on the bed. To be honest, breakfast wasn't the most important thing on my mind at that moment. Nevertheless, she showed no fear or disgust, just letting me do exactly what I wanted as a man, regain my strength. After that morning, my mood lifted considerably, and I felt my recovery was progressing at a faster pace. My wife continued to visit me every morning, although our life had long since moved beyond such intimate care. A new chapter had begun. I found myself loving my wife anew and looking forward to returning to our normal life. I felt like my hearing was being restored. I could hear what was going on around me, but for some reason, I could hear my wife from far away and very, very quietly. The burns on my body gradually began to heal, allowing me to speak. Despite the silence of the medical staff, I spoke while changing bandages. My doctor arrived, examined me, assured me that my condition was improving, and noted that I no longer needed bandages. He asked me to come see him for my next appointment. Surprisingly, I could hear him just fine. Before leaving, he wished me a speedy recovery. To my surprise, I later learned that my wife had agreed to a long business trip because of my illness, leaving the care of me to her mother. There is no telling what the future holds, but only time will tell the outcome. Pamela